Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to show you how to play On With The Show by Motley Crue. So this is one of my personal favorite Motley Crue songs. I really like the first two records. They did the best out of their entire catalog, but that's just me. And I always really liked this song. I always thought it just really sounded, just cool, just like the chords, the technique, just everything they did. I just thought it really flowed really well. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. So for this song, it uses a lot of bar chords. So the very first one we have here is D major. So what I'm doing basically is I'm barring my first finger here at the 5th fret, starting at the A string, and then my third finger is barring at the 7th fret on the D, G, and B string. And then this is heavily palm muted. This is probably one of the hardest parts about it, is just keeping a consistent palm mute where you're not over muted and you're not under muted. So starting with this, we're going to start on the A string. We have A, D, G, B. Now we're going to go up here to the 8th fret of the B string with your 4th finger. So this would make it actually D suspended 4. And we're going to pick that and do a pull off to the 7th fret where we're barring here. And then follow that with the G and D string. So that's the first measure. Alright, and then for the second measure, we have D over C sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this same chord shape, but we're going to move our first finger down so it's on the 4th fret, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did in the first measure. So the first two measures. Now we're going to move down and do B minor. So I'm barring my first finger across the 2nd fret of the E, A, D, G, B, and high E strings, and then my second finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string, and my third finger is on the 4th fret of the D string, and my 4th finger is on the 4th fret of the G string. And we're going to do that same type of picking. There's no pull off this time, but it's still A, D, G, D, B, G, D, G. So that's the first 3 measures. Next we have A major. So for this particular one, it's just this open position A major, and it's just a lot easier if you just bar your first finger across the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B string. And we're going to do the same thing kind of that we did, with the hammer and pull off. This one's a little bit different. So we're going to go A, D, G, D. Then we're going to go to the B string, and we're going to do a hammer on to the 3rd fret, and then pull it back off on the B string. Follow that with the G and D string. All right. So that's the first 4 measures. Then we have a G, but technically the only note you really need to fret is the 3rd fret of the low E, because the rest of the strings are open. But I just put my fingers on for a D chord anyway, because I already have muscle memory for that. And now we're going to go E, D, G, D, B, G, D, G. Then to an E minor, and the exact same picking as we did with G. So E, D, G, D, B, G, D, G. And then we're going to go back to the A And these last two measures are exactly the same thing as the fourth measure was, with a hammer pull-off. All right, so how I've done on the tabs, I've just got this divided as part one, part two, because the song, it has like the intro and then the verse, and the verse and the intro is more or less the same thing, and then it goes into I can even still call it the verse, like the end of the verse, or like the pre-chorus, and then it goes into a chorus, which is very similar to this thing too. So we'll call what we just did there part one. All right, so next we have part two, and like I said, this would be kind of like, I guess you could call it a pre-chorus. So it starts off the same way as the first four measures of this is exactly the same as the first four measures of the verse. Then we're just going to go to a G5. So first finger, third fret of the low E, third finger on the fifth fret of the A string, and then your fourth finger onto the fifth fret of the D string. Now you don't have to do that. You can just do the E and the A string, because the third fret of the low E and the fifth fret of the D are the same note anyway. So we've got a whole note of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to an A5. So low E open, second fret of the A string and second fret of the D string. I'm just using my first finger just to bar that. And that is also a whole note. And then to A5. So we just move that up. So now that the A string is open and I'm fretting the second fret of the D and the G string. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the and of 4, we're going to go to the second fret of the A string and slide all the way up to the 12th fret, which will land on the downbeat of the next measure, and that's a whole note. So that whole thing, part two. Just repeat. All right, so now we've got part three, which is like the chorus of the song. So for this, it's going to be all of these same chords, except we're just going to do power chords, and it's going to be, rhythmically it's going to change. So we start off with D5, so first finger, fifth fret of the A string, and then for this case I'm going to use my fourth finger to go to the seventh fret of the D string. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Then we go to D5 over C sharp. So simply take your first finger and flatten it a half step. So now it's on the fourth fret of the A string, but your fourth finger is still on the seventh fret of the D string. And it's the same rhythm that we just did. So that's the first two measures. Now we're going to go to a B5. So we're going to come down. First finger is on the second fret of the A string, and then you can continue to use your fourth finger here on the fourth fret of the D, or your third finger, whichever is more comfortable for you. Same rhythm. To an A5. So that's like the first four measures. Now we're going to go to a G5, E5, A5. And then that same two slide up to 12. So that whole thing slowly. just simply repeat. Alright, so there you have it, all the parts for On With The Show by Motley Crue. I said not too terribly tough of a song to play, unless you're totally a beginner. You know, you might struggle a little bit with getting the palm muting, and then the fact that it's got all these bar chords and stuff in it. But aside from this just being a cool riff, it is also actually kind of a good, you know, exercise, so to say, for technique, for being able to keep up the palm muting and some of the stretches and everything, and the timing. It's just all around good riff to learn. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.